Yeah, we're never keeping Hecarim in this matchup. This looks fine. It's also good to force the judgment before the Harrowing turn. So I specifically avoided saying that, Manesia, because that's pretty much not true in this deck. There's a bit of an argument for that, but not really. Because like when we Harrowing 2 or 3 Lucians, the judgment doesn't matter. Like Harrowing hard counters judgment if we just do like a semi-attack and then have a second attack after. Judgment does a very poor job into that kind of thing. So I can Lucian here. I'm gonna have a problem on turn 3 when I develop Shark Chariot into this Avalanche. I mean, I guess we just pass here, huh? This pass just looks golden. The thing is, it's kind of weird because his deck gets better over time, and we have a hand that can actually threaten some early aggression. So it looks weird to take this pass here. Like, if you think this deck is an aggro deck and you think his deck is a control deck, then passing here doesn't really make sense by normal card game logic, because he can like pass back and like we lose an attack. The thing is though, that's kind of not how Runeterra works, because we need to burn his mana. The reason that his deck even gets to the late game is because it wants to play like Catalyst on these turns. And if we burn his mana, we can easily take him to the late game by running Harrowing. And if you want to think about it like that, this is kind of the biggest reason why I mean, Chariot's a little awkward to Vile Feast. Chariot is just like a Hecarim level trigger and that's it. That's the biggest reason why pure aggro is bad in Runeterra. What happened just here is why decks need to be flexible. I need Harrowing in this deck to be able to take that kind of pass. It's a super good pass. But if you play an aggro deck without a flexible game plan, you can't take that pass. And you'll lose the game on the spot by not being able to pass there. I need to burn his mana. It's all a mana game. Mana matters more than Nexus health. Even if you're playing aggro, mana matters more than Nexus health. Until like the very end of the game. Or unless it's a shit ton of Nexus health. So here, I could pass again. We're doing a little bit of a mana burn. We have to ask ourselves, like, what are we threatened of here? If I spend my mana in a way that he can't really counter on board, then he has a decent Catalyst. Yeah, in this case, because this is the difference of 1 mana and not 3, maybe I will just play, like, one thing here. I'll play, like, Chariot or something. Chariot doesn't play into, like, Avalanche or anything like that. Just because, like, he can solo Avalanche Lucian if he wants. But now, if he plays Catalyst, then I can use all my mana, maybe do, like, some kind of open attack if I want. So there's kindly. So yeah, we're both just like letting each other use mana. In this case, I like Sentry here. Looks pretty good. Don't think there's a reason to keep the spell mana, but honestly, maybe there was a reason. Maybe that argument's bad. So yeah, this is a tricky position. We do have to like develop some resources. That was a close one. If he was 2 mana burned over me, I would have taken that pass. 1, that's really close. There's an argument that I should have taken that pass regardless. I do want to just play like a pesky Spectre here. If he's gonna Avalanche, he might have to do it now before like I can attack with a Chariot. It's kind of awkward. This is a matchup where we really want like 1 Plaza. Keeping our units health high when we develop them actually matters quite a bit. I mean, if he plays something like a second Avalanche, that's kind of annoying just because my Lucian has some chance to level up otherwise. Second Avalanche is a little easy with how he's playing. And if I play Onslaught before the second Avalanche, then I'm not going to get the Chariot back, which sucks. However, I will have enough mana to both Remembrance and second Lucian. And the second Avalanche isn't as... Nah, man, this sucks. Just fold to second Avalanche. We will get the Avros and Sentry draw. I think I actually take this attack. And it's going to be a slower game. Yeah, I think I actually like this attack. I know it looks kind of crazy. So almost always when you're in this kind of position, like you've made the first Avalanche not that valuable. The odds of them having the second one aren't as likely. The thing is, the way he's playing makes them noticeably more likely than just like standard draws. Like the odds of him having second Avalanche, I can tell you right now, the mathematical odds of the second Avalanche in his hand right now, just based on the raw probability, is very close to 20%. It's like somewhere between 20 and 25%. But like the way he's playing boosts that to like 35%. And I think I can actually win this game just by putting a little bit of pressure here, taking a decent Remembrance with my Harrowing hands. That could be the wrong call, but that's the call I'm making. Rally into Onslaught. Rally into Onslaught's pretty sweet here too. God, I almost never do that. But yeah, I guess I have to here. Yeah. No, you're right. I totally do have to. Yep. Like, getting that Catalyst out is really sick. I would have seen it, but yeah, obviously this play is insane. You can even Remembrance afterwards. Potentially. I mean, we're getting 2 more attacks here. Could just end the game on the spot. So he needs a spell to do something, and at 3 mana he kind of can't. Yeah, we're burning through this double Tavern Keeper hand like it's nothing. This is actually scary. So I think he loses the game on the spot here. Like, I think it's not even close, actually. So we're gonna trigger 2 deaths, and then we're gonna get the Shark Chariot back. If he kills the Avaros and Sentry here, which he probably shouldn't, but if he does, then we're gonna get the Remembrance. We can't attack with the Rider. We lose a Shark attack. We actually get a Remembrance attack if we attack with the Rider, though. Isn't that better? If he doesn't block anything? Isn't full attack better here? Because we'd rather have a Remembrance attack than a second Shark attack. Yeah, it kind of has to be. Okay, full attack it is. If he's smart, he's not going to block the Sentry. There's no reason for him to, I think. So we just full attack and Remembrance into another full attack. And that'll pretty much be enough to close out the game, depending on what we get. I mean, we might not kill him this turn unless it's Moose. So yeah, this is definitely a line I should have seen a little bit sooner. And that's like, this line should have been like the biggest reason to immediately open attack. But there was, like, I definitely had to take that open attack. There were a lot of reasons for that. Challenger Bird does it. Yeah, Challenger Bird would do it. Moose would do it. So we have a 40% chance of ending the game on the spot here. Even if we don't end the game on the spot, though, like, we've put enough pressure on him. We have enough of an advantage with Harrowing in hand that I don't think it matters when we end this game.
Let's talk about your attack.
Like, when you've taken control this far down in health, they can't really recover very much from that. So what we can do is next turn we can Harrowing, and if he Ruinations, then we can play a 0 mana Remembrance and just kill him. Because he's at 3 health. And that's, again, that's like why health matters at this point of the game, because we controlled the mana and the flow of this game. It was very important that we passed on turn 3. We couldn't have won this game like this if we hadn't passed on turn 3. It was very important that we open attacked on turn 5, was it? So now, his only way of surviving this attack is to take the Ruination. Wow, he actually... Oh, it's a double spell. Okay. Triple spell. Avalanche and... What? It's not... Yeah, double Horror? No Vial here. Vial on the Avalanche stack. Okay. That's kind of funny. So we get a draw off of Sentry. Not that it matters, unless we draw a 3rd Remembrance, which would be pretty funny. Although, this is only 1 mana anyway, right? So, I guess Radiant doesn't win the game here, but everything else should. Whee! GG, buddy. So yeah, that's the, like, if you guys want to understand why people say aggro sucks in Runeterra, this is kind of why. It's because the game is all about just like that flow of mana. Now, I disagree with the fact that aggro sucks. I really wouldn't say it like that. What I would say is that aggro in Runeterra, it just looks different from aggro in other decks. Right? Like, it's kind of funny. Like, Nick always says, like, Nightfall's not an aggro deck. Nightfall's a mid-range deck. And Nick also complains about, like, the fact that aggro sucks. The thing is, it's weird. Nick is actually, like, one of the few people that really gets it. But he just says it in weird ways. Like, it's not like aggro sucks. It's just that... And it's not like Nightfall is mid-range. It's that aggro in this game doesn't really look like how aggro works in other games. Like, Nightfall is an aggro deck, and, you know, Nightfall's it's not terrible. Okay, it does kind of suck. But in that case, you know, it's just about, like, making sure your deck has a plan B. Jinx is kind of the only reason. Jinx as a perfect plan B for discard aggro is the only reason it's able to be like the closest thing to true aggro that we've seen in Runeterra.